Imagine this. You finally get what you've been working so hard for. A new car, a better apartment, a degree. That long-awaited vacation. You feel a rush, a sense of joy, even pride. But then something strange happens. A few days pass, maybe a few weeks, and the excitement fades. You start looking for the next thing. A new goal, a new upgrade, a new reason to be happy. Sound familiar? That's because this is the cycle most of us are caught in. We live in a world that teaches us happiness lives out there, in achievements, in other people, in things we can buy or places we can go. And sure, those moments feel good, but they don't last. Why? Why does happiness feel so fragile? Why does it fade so quickly once we finally reach what we thought would fulfill us? Is it because we're not grateful enough? Is it because we always want more? Or is it because we've been told to look for a happiness in the wrong places? In this video, we're going to challenge that idea. We're going to explore a truth that most people avoid. That happiness isn't found in comfort, or pleasure, or applause. It's found in something deeper, something harder, but something far more lasting. And to get there, we'll look through the lens of a philosopher who saw life with brutal clarity, Friedrich Nietzsche. Because Nietzsche believed that happiness wasn't something you could chase and catch. It was something that arrived only after you overcame resistance. So if you're tired of the chase, if you've achieved, succeeded, and still feel a little empty, then stay with me. This might just change how you see happiness forever. Part 1: Nietzsche's perspective. Happiness as power. So what did Friedrich Nietzsche actually mean when he said, "What is happiness?" The feeling that power increases, that a resistance is overcome. At first, it might sound cold, like he's saying we should chase power, dominate others, become ruthless, but that's not it. Nietzsche wasn't talking about power over people. He was talking about power within, the kind of power that grows when you face something difficult, when you get knocked down and still stand up, when you push past fear, doubt, and failure, and keep going anyway. Real happiness, according to Nietzsche, doesn't come from comfort or ease. It comes from feeling your own strength rising. It's the quiet, steady joy of knowing, I overcame that. I didn't give up. I grew stronger. Let's pause here. Think back to a time when you faced something hard. Maybe it was a breakup. Maybe it was starting over. Maybe it was doing something one believed you could do. Was it painful? Yes. But did it change you? Absolutely. And somewhere in that struggle, even if just for a moment, did you feel a kind of joy that wasn't shallow or fleeting, but earned? That's what Nietzsche meant. He believed we've been lied to about what happiness really is. We're told to look for it in what feels good. Pleasure, comfort, recognition, success. But those things fade, and worse, if we chase them for too long. We become weaker, dependent, empty. Nietzsche's solution: stop chasing happiness. Start becoming powerful, but again, not in a toxic, ego-driven way. He meant, build yourself. Strengthen your body. Discipline your mind. Know your values. Face your fears. Do hard things, not because you have to, but because you choose to. Because every time you overcome resistance, you don't just move forward, you transform. And that transformation is where happiness is born. You start to see life differently. Obstacles become teachers. Pain becomes fuel. Struggle becomes sacred. You stop avoiding difficulty and start welcoming it. Because you understand, that's where growth lives. That's where purpose is forged. And that's where real joy is found, not as a reward, but as proof that you are becoming more than you were before. So the next time you feel lost or stuck or frustrated, don't ask, how can I be happy? Ask, what challenge can I face today that would make me stronger? That's Nietzsche's path. It's not easy. It's not comfortable. But it's real, and it leads not just to happiness, but to something far more valuable: self-respect, freedom, power, and the deep, unshakable peace of knowing you are growing. Part 2: Understanding power beyond domination. Let's go deeper. When Nietzsche said we should pursue power, he wasn't talking about control. He wasn't saying you should dominate, manipulate, or rise above others. He was talking about mastery, the kind that begins within. Because the truth is, most of us are ruled not by others, but by ourselves, by our impulses, by our fears, by our laziness, by the part of us that always wants to take the easy road. And Nietzsche saw this for what it is: weakness. But not the kind you should be ashamed of. The kind you should confront and overcome. You see, Nietzsche believed that power is simply the ability to overcome resistance, not just external resistance, but internal. Let me explain. When you wake up and don't feel like doing anything, but you get up and move anyway. That's power. When anxiety creeps in and tells you to avoid the world, but you show up anyway. That's power. When life hits you with loss, failure, heartbreak, and you don't run from it, but grow through it, that's power. And the more often you do this, the more you face resistance and rise above it, the more powerful you become, not in an ego-driven, flashy way, but in a quiet, unshakable way, a way that no one can take from you. Because when you know you can do hard things, you trust yourself. That's real confidence. That's real strength. And that's where real happiness begins. Nietzsche would say, power isn't a crown you wear. It's a battle you win every single day, inside yourself. And the battlefield, it's everywhere. In your morning routine, in your relationships, in your mental discipline, in your reactions when things don't go your way. Each of these is a moment of choice, a moment where the weak version of you wants to take over, and the stronger version, the one you're becoming, says, not today. That's why Nietzsche didn't preach comfort. He preached self-overcoming. The process of continuously growing stronger by facing your inner resistance head-on, and science agrees. Modern psychology shows that people who embrace challenge, delay gratification, and build emotional resilience report higher levels of long-term satisfaction, even happiness. Not the short-term kind, the deep, meaningful kind. So if you want real happiness, ask yourself, where in my life am I giving into weakness? Where am I avoiding resistance instead of meeting it? What would happen if I leaned into the hard things instead of running away? Because every time you do, you take back a piece of your power, and every time you do that, you grow. And when you grow, you don't need to chase happiness. Happiness begins to follow you. Part 3: The cycle of challenge and growth. Here's the truth. The more resistance you overcome, the stronger you become. And the stronger you become, the more you can take on, and the more alive you feel. This is what Nietzsche saw as the cycle of challenge and growth. It's not complicated, but it is powerful. And once you understand how it works, it can change the way you live your life forever. It starts like this. You set a goal, a real goal. One that pushes you. One that makes you nervous. One that demands something more from you. Then you hit resistance. That resistance might be fear. It might be self-doubt. It might be laziness, insecurity, or the people around you saying you'll fail. This is the moment most people quit. They think, this is too hard. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I'm not good enough. But if you push through that resistance, even just a little, something amazing happens. You grow. You prove to yourself that you are more capable than you thought. And that single win, that small victory, it builds confidence. It becomes a new baseline. Now you're ready for the next challenge. And when you face that new challenge, surprise, it brings new resistance. But this time, you're stronger. So you handle it better. You grow again. And again. And again. This cycle, challenge, resistance, growth, it never ends. And that's a good thing, because this is how we evolve. Not just physically, not just professionally, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You see, every time you conquer something you once feared, every time you move through something that once held you back, you're rewiring your identity. You're no longer someone who avoids difficulty. You're someone who faces it. You become someone who doesn't wait for life to get easier, but gets stronger instead. And that, Nietzsche believed, is where happiness lives. Not in reaching some final state of success, not in having an easy life, but in knowing that you are becoming the kind of person who can handle life. Think about the people you admire most. Real leaders, real creators, people who inspire you. Are they who they are because life was easy? Or because they went through the fire and came out stronger? That same potential is inside you, but it's not unlocked by avoiding discomfort. It's unlocked by choosing discomfort on purpose. By saying, I will grow through this, no matter how long it takes. So here's the mindset. Don't fear resistance, chase it. Don't run from discomfort, lean into it. Don't wait until you feel ready. Act now and become ready through the process. Because in Nietzsche's words, he who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. And your why, your growth, your power, your future, starts with facing that resistance in front of you today. Part for practical applications, building personal power. Now that we understand the source of real happiness, the growth of inner power through overcoming resistance, the question becomes, how do we build that power in our own lives? Let's break it down. Here are 4 powerful steps you can start applying today to become stronger, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Step 1. Set specific, challenging goals. Growth doesn't happen without direction. You need goals, but not just any goals. We're not talking about vague wishes like be happier or get in shape. We're talking about clear, specific, and slightly uncomfortable goals. The kind that demand your full attention and effort. Want to get physically stronger? Set a goal to train 4 times a week, even when you're tired. Want to be more disciplined? Wake up 30 minutes earlier and spend that time in silence, reading, journaling, or just thinking. Want to stop procrastinating? Commit to finishing one hard task every morning before anything else. Don't aim for easy, aim for growth. And remember, if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Step 2. Embrace discomfort as a catalyst for growth. Nietzsche believed that discomfort isn't the enemy, it's the path. Every time you feel resistance, fear, doubt, boredom, frustration, that's not a signal to stop. It's a sign that you're on the edge of transformation. So reframe discomfort. Instead of asking, how can I make this easier? Ask, what can I learn by staying here just a little longer? Growth isn't supposed to be smooth. It's supposed to stretch you. If it feels uncomfortable, you're doing it right. Step 3. Reflect on past wins and how far you've come. The mind often forgets progress. That's why you need to remind yourself regularly how far you've already come. Look back. What was something hard you overcame in the last year? What fear did you face and survive? What did you think you couldn't do, but did anyway? These memories matter. They're proof that you're already growing, already building power. Use them as fuel when the next challenge feels impossible, because the truth is, you've already done hard things. You can do more. Step 4. Build resilience through repetition. Nietzsche didn't believe in quick fixes. He believed in becoming, and becoming takes time. That's where repetition comes in. The power you build comes not from what you do once, but from what you do consistently, day after day. Even when you're tired, even when no one's watching, even when you feel like nothing's changing. Because every act of discipline, every moment of effort, every inch of progress adds up, and soon you're not just trying to be stronger. You are stronger, so start small. 1 push-up. 1 page read. one honest conversation, one choice to act instead of avoid, and then repeat every single day. That's how you build personal power. That's how you overcome resistance. And that, as Nietzsche said, is how happiness finds you. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. So now you know, happiness isn't something you chase. It's not found in comfort, pleasure, or applause. It's not in the finish line. It's in the climb, in the resistance, in the becoming. Friedrich Nietzsche didn't promise an easy life. He offered something better, a powerful life. A life where you are not defined by what happens to you, but by what you rise through. If you want true happiness, don't ask for things to get easier. Ask to become stronger, because when your power increases, when you overcome what once held you back, that's when joy arrives, not as a reward, but as evidence that you're becoming who you were meant to be. So the question isn't, will you be happy? The real question is, will you choose to grow? Because in that choice, your strength is born. And in that strength, you'll unlock the kind of happiness that no one can take away. Thanks for longing.